we have to sit back and reflect and just have a debate in Parliament and say, look, this is wrong. It shouldn't be happening. And what are we going to do about it? Not just chuck a pamphlet out and say, oh, we've done our bit, we've done our tick box. That's not good enough. We live in the real world and people are coming into our community and they are a danger. I'm not saying everyone, but they are a danger. Some are. And we have concerns about our overall national security with all these people coming to the country, whether they're trained or not trained. We don't know anything about them. And we need to understand more. And this debate needs to go on rather than just chuck out a pamphlet. It's awful.
The Home Secretary has told the Times today that wealthy areas must take a fair share of asylum seekers. Simultaneously, the Home Office are telling asylum seekers via a pamphlet, a shocking pamphlet, it's got to be said, not to rape or sexually harass people, that women are allowed to make their own decisions, that domestic abuse and sex with children is illegal. There's some concern about the gulf in cultural values among some migrants arriving on small boats. Is it patronising or necessary? What difference can a booklet possibly make?
The Home Secretary, Shabana Mahmood, says she wants a fairer spread of asylum accommodation across the country. She surely means that richer areas need to take their share. If that happens, will they get a warm welcome? In Windsor and Maidenhead, there were just 3 asylum seekers 6 years ago. There are now 302. David Buckley is a Reform UK councillor for Windsor and Maidenhead and joins us now. Good morning, David.
Good morning.
Shabana Mahmood says wealthy areas must take a fair share of asylum seekers. Surely that's the right solution, not to just have people in some certain pockets of the UK.
Well, yes and no. We've had our fair share. You know, you said right down to 300 now. We had 2 other hotels and we've had HMOs for many years now. We had it with the Tories before and we've now got it with Labour. So we've had our fair share. They've caused eruptions in the community. It's not about what's right for the asylum seekers, it's what's right for the British people, and that's the right thing to do. So we've had disasters here and we've been reduced to 300. We're not up to 300.
But where are you suggesting they should go, if not in your backyard? Because that's going to be the case of every politician and Labour politicians as well.
No, as I said, we've already had them here. I think the situation is it's not about my backyard or anywhere else. You know Reform's position, they shouldn't be here anyway. So the situation is that, it cannot happen. It's about the discussion. It's okay just saying spread them across the UK, but what are you doing? There's one situation where you've got 1,200 young men going into a population of 300 people. That's not spread. That's just overpopulation.
I don't know the specific circumstance you're talking about. But there have been some of the RAF bases that the government are looking at. Linton on News, for example, it will, more than double the population of the village who are there. Should it not be, David, that in the short term, I appreciate that Reform's policy is that no one should be here, but we can't change the reality that they are right now, that the places that are best resourced to suddenly have 500, 700, 1,000 more people are where they should go?
Well, let's just talk about best resource, because our council is bankrupt. So the situation is we're just literally on the verge of collapse. We're going to be heading for 400 to 500 million pounds of debt. 85% of our full council tax, 85 pence of every pound they spend in council tax goes on adult social care in our area. So the other 14% goes on interest, and we get 4 or 5 pence of every pound goes on services.
I mean, you're not unique in a council for nearly going bankrupt.
Correct. But that's the reality. So until the government refinances councils, until we've got the infrastructure in place around the area, they housed 120 people in a little village where I'm the councillor at Datchet for about 4 years. And the situation is we had no buses. It's the furthest point from Maidenhead, which is the town centre where we can help the asylum seekers. There's no help, there's no infrastructure. There is absolutely nothing. These people are just being dumped into an area and say, get on with it. It's totally wrong for them. It's totally wrong for the community. It's not about where you live or whether you're wealthy or whether you're deprived. It's about this is not fair, it's not right, and it should not be happening.
But I don't see why in every area a politician couldn't make the same argument. I mean, Shabana Mahmood is saying no one type of community is bearing the brunt. This has to be spread across the United Kingdom. I don't know how you can quibble with that because, everyone can't say just not in my backyard.
I'm not quibbling with it. I would ship them out to somewhere else. I wouldn't quibble with it. It shouldn't be here at all. So the situation is, do you ship them to Windsor? Do you ship them to Manchester? Do you ship them to Glasgow? Or do you ship them somewhere else? It doesn't. It's just a decision of the government on what they do. And we're totally taking this the wrong way and approaching it in the wrong way.
They're saying that wealthy areas need to take their fair share of housing those asylum seekers rather than sort of shipping them there.
As I said, we had hundreds more in our wealthy area. We're not a wealthy area, but the situation is we have quite a number of deprived areas in our area. So the situation is that, whether it's wealthy, poor or deprived, it doesn't matter what the situation is. It should be happening, and it's just the policy and the will of the government to decide what they want to do with it, and it's the wrong decision, and they should reflect and make a different decision.
I just want to get your response, David, to this pamphlet that's been given out to asylum seekers when they arrive. It's 9 pages. It is pretty shocking. The Home Office published guidance warning asylum seekers not to rape or sexually harass people after a series of attacks. It also said reminding people women were allowed to make their own decisions. Why do you think a leaflet like this is necessary, and do you think it will help?
No. It's like the alarm that went out for people on using temporary barbecues the other day. Stupid people don't deal with the situation. They don't listen to those alarms. They don't do what needs to be done. The situation with the cultural divide in people's the way they live. Reform is a party of women, and this is a situation. We're the ones who really, really want to support women and protect women and young children. And there was an elderly man raped recently in Edinburgh, I think it was. These things are happening all over the country. We have to sit back and reflect and just have a debate in Parliament and say, look, this is wrong. It shouldn't be happening. And what are we going to do about it? Not just chuck a pamphlet out and say, we've done our bit, we've done our tick box. That's not good enough. We live in the real world, and people are coming into our community, and they are a danger. I'm not saying everyone, but they are a danger. Some are. And we have concerns about our overall national security with all these people coming to the country, whether they're trained or not trained. We don't know anything about them. And we need to understand more. And this debate needs to go on rather than just chuck out a pamphlet. It's awful.
David, thank you. David Buckley, the Reform UK Councillor for Windsor and Maidenhead. And it's worth saying, Georgia Gold, the School Standards Minister, is going to be here at 9:15. And we will ask her about why the Home Office thought it was necessary and if it will help to publish information like this, which, when you read out quotes from it, does feel pretty alarming.
Or does it just illustrate the extent of the problem?